This fourth Sunday of Advent is always about Mary. And I think two things stand out about Mary, or perhaps even three. The first is she was more than willing, once she asked her questions, to say yes to God. And so I think it's important that we also not be afraid or hesitant to ask questions, but ultimately to come to know that when we say yes to God, God's plan, God's life-giving plan comes to fruition. And I think we see that in the second point, which is that Mary went to visit her cousin Elizabeth to care for her and to help her in her own pregnancy. And so like Mary, we too should be willing to go and help our neighbor. And the third point, which is not in part of the Christmas readings about Mary, was the one that Father Ronald Rollheiser talks about, that at the foot of the cross, Mary did not weep and wail. She did not curse the soldiers who had crucified her son, but she stood in silence, praying to God that God's life-giving plan would come to fruition. Sometimes when things seem beyond our control, we simply need to say yes to God, both in word and in silence, and let God's plan be fulfilled. As we celebrate this fourth Sunday of Advent, we can do no better than to pray the Hail Mary and ask Mary to help us follow in her footsteps as a disciple of the risen Christ.